Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe. Nerdrotic.com.
Volume was down a little bit on that one. Let's do it again. Hey! Hello! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Although I'm not a biologist. Is that joke ever going to get old? Probably, but I don't care. I don't care. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are around this beautiful planet of ours. A little insane, but just to let you all know, and I know most of you already know this in the chat, but some people might not. The world has always been this insane. We can just see it now. This is the Nerdrotic Nooner. My name is Gary Beekler. I come to you from Nerdrotic.com and a YouTube channel called Nerdrotic, another one called Nerdrotic Daily, and a third one called Nerdrotic Live, where this live stream will be archived once it's done. It's going to be a little bit of a short one today because I'm going to be on Drew Hernandez's show at 3 p.m. Pacific time, talking about a little Disney. So I'm going to focus more on Disney Marvel in this one and save the Disney stuff for Drew. We're also going to talk about Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. 3 million dislikes. It's still there. And most of the shenanigans on YouTube are cleared up now, so it might be legit. Baby boy Ryan did a video. I think he records his videos during his live stream, which is really smart. And I think he recorded it last night, but it came out this morning. And he talked about that being, 10% of the viewing audience. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Disbrew broke it down pretty well. And comparatively to other videos, the 1.8 million, it could be accurate. It could be. I'm just saying it could be. It might not be, but it could be. Trailers and videos from corporations act a little differently than, you and I making a video, because they're giant corporations and they pay for sponsorship. So things like removing dislikes, removing or adding views. There's a perfectly legal way to pad your views by embedding, which I could do too. I could build a website, embed my video there, or you can actually do it on your own channel. You can set it up as a trailer that auto plays when somebody goes to your channel. Boost your views a little bit. Yeah, we'll see. I heard from someone, I'm just going to leave out names, but somebody brought up a good point to me. Said, why would Amazon give a shit what people say? They're a $1 trillion company. They've committed to 5 seasons. They're going to make it anyway. So what do they care? The problem with that is they do. Amazon cancels shows all the time. The Tick wasn't watched by a ton of people, but it's one of the best things Amazon has ever produced. There has never been a bad Tick show. There's never been a bad Tick comic. There's never been a bad Tick animated series. There's only been one. And there's been 2 live action shows, and they're both good. And they both got canceled early because they're super niche. Along in the same lines as Venture Brothers, which is great too. There's never been a bad Venture Brothers episode. But this was all stuff that came out, before the dark times before woke Hollywood. Well, Hollywood's always been woke, but ultra woke, leftist, crazy, cultish, CRT, ESG, NAACP, SHIT, Hollywood. And the BBC. Don't forget, we can't leave out the BBC on this one, too. I've been working on a video for like a week and a half. We're getting to the home stretch. I'm almost done recording it. Perry's been working on it on and off over the last 2 weeks. Hope you like it. Hope you like it. Let's see who's here. We'll go and check out, see where Lord of the Rings is at. Yes, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial is going to be on YouTube, which is phenomenal. I can't tell you how great that is. The thing is, I get celebrity gossipy stuff. I'm not into it. I know there's a bigger picture here, and I'm definitely, I'd say if I had to choose sides, I'd be on Johnny Depp's. Because Amber Heard is a turd. And yeah, she ruined his career. So hopefully she gets her comeuppance. Our good friends, Tug, that umbrella guy, has been covering it. I think Nikki Rackets is going to cover it. Yellow Flash will cover it. I highly recommend you check those people out. I'll probably talk about it when it's over, or if something exciting happens. But I'm more concerned with the overall big picture of things. Not saying that's a bad thing to cover. It's just I haven't, and it's not my cup of tea or coffee. But those 3 channels I just told you do great work on it. Go check them out. Geek Grind coffee is so good. All right, let's see who's here. Hello. Keck44, Bastard, Kevin Mayer, Scott Kerr, Aluvri, oh my God, Alvrian Imikara. Oof. Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is. Lady Gravemaster, Faye, Raj Williams. Oh, now it's going too fast. We're going to have to slow it down a little bit. I have boxes. So do I. This house is nothing but empty boxes and boxes fucking piled everywhere. Right now. I mean, I'm still on the side of my office. The whole point of this thing is supposed to be, supposed to be a table in the middle, and then I'm going to shoot videos from a certain side. So you're going to get 3 different views. It's going to be cool. Eventually people will come over. They'll sit at the table in the middle. It'll be like the red table, except I will not be an insufferable bitch with alopecia. I'll just be an insufferable asshole. Who's just old. What up, Dylan DeSalvo? Tannhauser. Ooh, the umlaut there. Gate. Howdy. What's up? Brick Hardcastle. Brian Luke. Bastard again. And his wrench. Oswald Schmidt. Boss Love. Jake Skywalker. Jorge Hernandez Garcia. Hola. Mark Lazarth and his wrench. Just another red shirt and his wrench. Eric K is here with his wrench. Czar Austin, welcome. Mr. Viexfu, or is it Vifu? Is it French? French? Yeah, I do have more hair than Jada Pinkett Smith, which isn't saying much. I mean, I've had a receding hairline since I was 20. Still got all of it and back, so I'm fine with that. Hey, I'm 52, old and married. I don't give a shit. Larry, what's up? All right. We are going to talk about Rings of Power. We're going to talk about Disney a little bit, but as it relates to the MCU. MCU, yes. Oh, my God, does the MCU upset the Marvel stands? Does it? So why does it upset the Marvel stands? Why do the Marvel stands care what some dude in his spare bedroom? I mean, total loser, by the way. I have a studio in my house. Yes, my wife occasionally makes me a PB&J. Some nuggies. Yeah, she does. She's really good at it. But yeah, total loser. Nervous drinking, by the way. Caffeinate. Lord of the Rings. Yeah, so the MCU upsets a lot of people. That's the whole intent. It was just something I said. Captain Marvel review, before a Captain Marvel review in late 2018, right? And it was based on an article, an article about Kevin Feige that came out in 2018, where he said, I'm going to make the Marvel Cinematic Universe mostly female. There's going to be more female superheroes than male superheroes. Now, like, why would you say something like that? That's freaking retarded. It's she-tarded. It's because Kevin Feige was under pressure for the first time. He had been winning and winning. I mean, it was just nothing but winning for Kevin Feige. So the MCU starts out, of course, with a plan. Minor plan. That we'll call it an outline. Okay, back in the day, before the Russo brothers got on board, before anybody got on board, there was a somewhat of a outline for the MCU, right? They added Nick Fury in just kind of as an aside to see what happens. They weren't sure if these things flopped. Disney wouldn't have been able to buy Marvel because Marvel would have been broken up into pieces and belonged to a lot of investors. And one of the movies did okay. Hulk didn't do great, but Iron Man was a massive hit. Those involved in the original creation of the MCU were some comic book guys: Joe Quesada, Michael Bendis. I forgot who else was in there, but there was also Robert Downey Jr. was mapping this out. Joss Whedon was mapping out because he was working for Marvel at the time. Edgar Wright did a lot of mapping things out. Jon Favreau, Kevin Feige. There's a lot of people involved. The only person left is Kevin Feige. Isn't that interesting? The only person left is Kevin Feige. Of course, there was Ike Perlmutter on the other side doing the TV stuff. He was the chairman of Marvel. Kevin Feige usurped his seat. That's what success will do for you. It will. And Perlmutter wasn't fantastic. Famously reclusive dude. Big Trump supporter, by the way. But doesn't like having pictures taken of him. Yeah, maybe he's really shy. I just find the whole thing kind of weird. But the dude got thrown under the bus big time by Kevin Feige. Did he deserve some of it? I don't know. He never said anything. But I'm not the kind of person that just takes what Kevin Feige says at face value because he's got that OP face. He's a Hollywood producer. You don't get that high as a Hollywood producer by not being a backstabbing shark. It's just the environment there. It's the very sick environment there. Yes, I do think Victoria Alonso has a lot to do with how woke Marvel has gotten. But, hey, it was a total success. Absolutely success. I liked most of the movies early on. Thought it was a lot of fun. It was very Marvel Comics. It was just... right. Then Disney comes in and buys it right around the year the Avengers come out. And quite frankly, it starts changing. We start seeing directors getting run out. Edgar Wright got run out. Other actors get run out. And it still succeeds for a little while. 2014, arguably its best year with the Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier. It felt like it was really leveling up. And then there was the great usurping of Ike Perlmutter. Kevin Feige gets in charge right around Civil War time. And that's when we start seeing some dents in the armor. A little bit. Then 2018 rolls around, and we have a huge hit that is Wonder Woman, and it embarrasses the shit out of Marvel. It embarrasses the crap out of them. All of a sudden, everybody's got to be female. Now, the comics were a proving ground. I've always said this. The comic books were a proving ground for Disney. They set up Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel, and they were always going to bring that into the comic books because Marvel wanted their Superman. Something Marvel never really wanted before, quite frankly. Marvel was the world outside your window. DC was the world of gods and monsters, and we liked those differences. It was like, National League versus American League baseball. There was differences. Now there isn't because Everybody's got a designated hitter, and it's kind of the same thing now. Everybody's fucking woke. So what they did was they started degrading their male characters to uplift the female characters instead of just writing the female characters like normal women. And we get this Disney female character. It's not just exclusive to Marvel. It's now Disney female character who's, very capable, generally a woman of science, self-taught, all of her greatness. The hero's journey, which was she starts out great, and by the time her journey is over, everyone else finally figures out she's great. The end. Makes for riveting stuff. So when early on, when I was pointing this out, and there were many, many others pointing this out too, because they read the comics and we know what's coming. The signs are there. We know what's coming. The all new, all different Marvel. That's what they called it. That's what they called it in the comic books with Black Falcon Captain America, because that's what he is. Sam Wilson was an independent character, one of the first, if not the first black character to get a toy from Marvel back in the 70s. Falcon. Everybody knew who Falcon was, but then they got to give him some white male established hand-me-downs, which I'm sure is a step in the right direction, right? No, it's not. No, it's not. And then we had female versions of everything, which they already had in the comic books, and it was fine. It was part of the Marvel family, but it still makes them derivative characters, right? And these derivative characters are kind of popular, but how many comic book characters have we seen have a nice long run like Daredevil or Spider-Man or Superman or Batman? Hell, Superman doesn't sell anymore. None of them sell anymore. They have to conflate the numbers. That being said, Marvel is going to trudge ahead with their female characters. They're whamming. And they're written horribly. Like, at first, they weren't. We liked Black Widow. Gamora, great character. Nebula, great character. One of my favorites. Then Captain Marvel comes along, horribly miscast. Could have been a good movie. Could have been a fun movie. Here's an easy way you make it fun, and I'm not even a writer. Instead of changing the gender of Marvel, you make him a male, you actually put him in a relationship with Carol Danvers, and then he dies. And then she can pick up the mantle and take it on from there. That would have been cool. That way you get both Captain Marvels. But see, this is what's MCU. This is what's exclusively MCU. It's the Bechdel test. It's a woman cannot receive power from a man in any way, shape, or form. A woman can mentor a man, but a man cannot mentor a woman. And you can see these things in the writing. And it's obvious, and it's terrible. And its entire inspiration, its entire motivation is political. Political. It's not a creative story decision. That's what the MCU is. You take a character like Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. Now, I know there's an editor out there that wants to debate people. You don't go out on the internet and offer to fight somebody on a stream with your secondhand Wikipedia knowledge. It's a loser, and you know it's a loser. So I would say read some comic books, but don't conflate them with the MCU. That's what the stans do. They love that. Well, this happened in the comics. I'm sorry. Didn't the Russos just come out and say that the MCU has no plan? Didn't you just see Moon Knight? What from the source material is Moon Knight aside from just superficial? Mr. Knight is not the Mr. Knight from the comic books. Stephen Grant is not the Stephen Grant from the comic books. It might be the Mark Spector from the comic books, which I would be more interested in, but we haven't seen much. Apparently, we're going to see more. Maybe it'll get better. But Disney Plus has produced 5 shit shows. And was it 3 shit movies? That's a lot of Marvel. And none of it was good last year. And none of it was good because of MCU. Shang-Chi ended up being more about his sister. She was the one with the position of power at the end. Not your hero. Not your hero. For one, they don't write heroes anymore. They don't write heroes anymore. Moon Knight, for example. It is a much later retcon to give him that I have to say this very slowly. Dissociative disorder. Multiple personality disorder. That was later. He built personas to fight crime. That's very heroic. But we can't have that anymore. We can't have that anymore. Now that was from the comic books. But at least when they did it in the comic books, it was presented in an interesting way. This isn't. You decide to change Stephen Grant into a full-on beta so he can ride bitch on a moped. By the way, that moped scene, I was laughing the whole way through it because you were clear, like, Layla was supposed to be like, for one, she's riding a fucking moped. The actress doesn't know how to ride a moped because they had to, like, all the scenes were, do you notice that they were super tight on them? Because she couldn't ride a moped. Either they didn't want to risk her riding the moped, so it was all back shots of 2 stunt people on a moped, and then, like, super close up, like this. Because she didn't know how to ride a moped. But she is sassy and independent, and she can kick some ass, except she can't ride a moped that's top speed is 35 miles an hour. Yeah, and James Bond rode bitch on a moped in the last Bond film. All that symbolism is deliberate. And yeah, I was okay with being called crazy and back in 2018, but I mean, these are old arguments now. These are arguments that people presented to me when they were probably at the right time. To be honest with you, they're like, dude, you just saw one fucking movie, Captain Marvel. It's not going to all fall apart. And I was like, yes, it is. Yes, and now that it's falling apart, I'm not going to say the MCU's dead, but if it keeps going in this direction, it will be. And there's a lot of factors besides the MCU. They're going into the gimmicky multiverse, which when that happens in comic books, that means you're kind of out of ideas. You need to reset shit, or your creative team is out of ideas. There's plenty of ideas out there. I mean, one of the biggest problems in the comic book industry is you get stuck with people who don't want to write comics anymore, but it's all they know how to do. So they get bitter and more bitter about it. And then they get nihilistic and they start like having Superman ass raped. You know, it's like, dude, you don't like Superman. Why? You just clearly don't like Superman. I don't know. I've been reading Superman for 45 years. I've never like gone, man, I've read so much Superman. I need to see him get ass raped. It's time. Finally. So the MCU, I tried to explain it. But somebody decided not to listen. So, you know what? I only do stuff once, and it's not my job. It is not my job to keep people from sounding stupid. See, I'm not going to pull my old card. Yeah, I am. I'm going to pull my old card just once. Just once. Pulling my old card. Something I figured out that I didn't know when I was 20 is, you know, when you're 20, and I'm sitting there talking to a 52-year-old, and I'll keep it in the I statements. I'm like, we're on a level playing field. No, we're not. No, we're not. The 52-year-old, not in all cases, but in most, has been on the earth longer than I have, experienced more things. So when I'm saying stupid shit, the 50-year-old could stop me. But that 50-year-old was a 20-year-old before. And we realized, oh, shit, yeah, we could say something here, but they need to really find out for themselves. That's the situation. Okay? That's it. I'm just going to let it go. There's a term for it. I think it's called giving them enough room. God, I can't even say it now. Giving them enough rope to hang themselves. Oh, is that a bad statement to say now? I don't care. I have another idea for that you'll just have to wait on. maybe a video. Maybe a video. Yeah, so Kevin Feige states publicly he wants more female characters than male characters, and then he does it, and that's his plan. No, what's your plan to bring in the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, or Galactus? You know, we've got all these great characters we haven't seen yet. Silver Surfer, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, Invisible Girl, The Thing, the Human Torch, you know, classic fucking characters that we have not seen. But now we're going to get Miss Marvel and America Chavez. Why? Nobody likes these characters. Oh, there's a bunch of people who say they like these characters and they love the idea of these characters, but they've never bought a comic. They've never read a comic. They wouldn't buy a toy. And they'll probably illegally download your movie. Or just watch clips on YouTube. And go, oh my God, I love her so much. Look at my pop vinyl. I bought a t-shirt. I'm a huge fan. You know what started a lot of this? A lot of this was a poll that came out based on some Facebook research by Graphic Policy, I believe it was, back in 2014. And then it was run in a couple, I think Bleeding Stool and a couple of other, maybe CBR ran with it. A poll and research that was done on Facebook that essentially was broken down to this. Are you interested in comic books? Yes or no? And it came back 50-50. So all of a sudden the comic book industry, and they also did research based on what people had in their descriptions for posts or something like that every time they mentioned comic books. There was some attempt to try to do real research, but it was very, very surface level. Okay. So it came back 50-50 and the comic industry went, oh my God, we have a giant untapped audience and fucking we need money. We need money. So they ran with it. I remember when it happened. I was talking to a comic artist friend of mine, and he's like, women are the future of comics. I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because, like, I mean, you draw comics, and you talk to the other artists and writers, but I sell them. And I've never seen that. I've tried. It's not for lack of trying. I like to make money. I ran a comic store. I wanted to sell as many comics to as many people as possible. And after like full on trying for 3.5 years, I bumped the female subscriber count. It was at about probably what my percentage is for my YouTube channel, about 5 or 6%, to 15, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Had some women coming in once a week buying comic books, buying a big old stack of comic books. That's where it maxed out. That's where it maxes out everywhere. You know, sure, they're going to buy more graphic novels, scholastic graphic novels, and young YA graphic novels. They ain't comic books. Those aren't comic books. They're YA graphic novels. That should be sold in a bookstore. Shit like Gotham High. But you know what? You know what women like? Manga. Notice that the first time I walked into a Borders, remember the Borders bookstore? Well, there used to be one at Stonestown Galleria, which was the mall near me in San Francisco. There was a Borders there. And every day, all the young Asian women would go in and read all the manga and then leave it all over the fucking floor. But they'd buy it too. This was back in the early 2000s. And there was a little manga boom in the early 2000s. Then it leveled off a little bit. But now it's completely taken over. Why? Because it's better storytelling. It's just better storytelling. So, back to the MCU. Most of the stuff that came out, if not all of the stuff that came out last year, and a lot of the stuff that's coming out this year was made a long time ago. That's why they had massive reshoots. Now, they're saying Doctor Strange has almost been entirely reshot. And 6 weeks... 6 days a week, that's plausible because that's what the principal photography was for the first Venom film. It was actually shorter than that. It was 4 weeks. So yes, you could plausibly shoot reshoot an entire film in that period of time, and it's all to put in cameos. That's all it's there to do. And listen, I would take that out of the MCU, but here's, for example, another item of the MCU is you can't have men full-on fighting women in a battle. But the problem is they want to balance every time they have a white male character. Shit, it's going to be a male character now. It has nothing to do with white. They're going to have to balance it with a big, powerful female villain now. Or another version of the hero that's like female Thor, which is the most ridiculous, she-tarded concept out there because Thor is his name. It'd be like if X-Ray Girl sat here with the beard on and called herself Gary. It's fucking dumb. It's dumb. It was dumb in the comics. Oh, it sold a lot with Jason Aaron and everything. Yeah, whatever. It was novelty back then. And then, of course, it didn't. And look where comics are now. How many great comic stories have come out in the last, from the big two, in the last, and don't know, not Three Jokers or Doomsday Clock, because those weren't great stories. They just weren't. They were okay. I'm talking great seminal stories. The Elektra Saga, the Phoenix Saga. What's come out in the last 5-6 years from the big two? Nothing. Fucking nothing. Sure, there's some good stories, but the Last Ronin, it's pretty good. It's not from the big two. Okay. So, I mean, fast forward to today, the massive hit that was Captain Marvel, the $1 billion Captain Marvel. She got demoted in her own fucking sequel and delayed. And the movie's coming out in February, which is a dead zone, which is just as bad as coming out in April, which is like a Morbius level movie. The mighty Captain Marvel. We got an Echo series coming on Disney Plus. It sounds just riveting. Nobody's going to fucking watch it. They're going to have to put Daredevil and Punisher and Spider-Man and fucking the Avengers and Galactus in it for people to fucking watch that. She-Hulk is a disaster. Miss Marvel is going to be a disaster. How do I know this? Well, I've watched all the Disney Plus series. Thankfully, I don't subscribe to Disney Plus, by the way. I share a password. So they don't get any money from me. Yeah. People have reached out from Hollywood. People have what's happened is at first, when we're calling out all the woke shit, and we've been doing it for years now, people just automatically thought racism and sexism, like we've said before. But as we've said, every time a director comes out and points somebody to a video, just name another YouTuber, right? Doesn't have to be me. And they listen for a while. They go, wait a minute. That's not true. Well, somebody decided to like, hey, I didn't understand this woke thing. I'm working in Hollywood. I don't understand this woke thing. So I watched your videos and you made some great points. These are people who work on projects I am heavily criticizing. Heavily criticizing. And they reached out. And I would just like to point out that of all the Disney Plus series, as at time of stream, the only showrunner returning is the showrunner of Moon Knight. And that's not locked down. That's just a rumor right now. That is just hearsay right now. All the others left and they're not coming back. Maybe they figured out that they were cast and not hired. Maybe that's it. So, no, Marvel doesn't have a plan. Marvel doesn't have showrunners. Marvel relies on the writers that they hire for these Disney Plus shows to map everything out as a showrunner, but they aren't given the power of a showrunner. So they're not feeling super inspired to especially look over the scripts of people writing scripts for the first time who are terrible. And when they're asked to rewrite scripts, they don't answer the phone. Yeah, it's a shit show. It is a shit show. And I just get my popcorn out and go, because I want these things to be good. I don't know. Marvel is just set on their path, right? Maybe they change. Maybe they decide to make money. It's very hard to support Disney right now. So I don't. I just simply don't. I'll cover their crap, but I wouldn't. Like Moon Knight, the first episode was average. Second episode, not so good. Is it good enough to subscribe to Disney Plus? Absolutely not. No way. No, I would not even for $2. $2. I just react to what's put on screen, what I think based on all the stories I've read. And yeah, the MO of the Marvel stan is to conflate comic canon with MCU canon based on pure speculation. Remember Mephisto? It'll all be explained. The Fly was Mephisto in WandaVision. No, WandaVision ended up being about a woman kidnapping an entire town, enslaving men, women, and children because her vibrator broke. Her robot boyfriend broke. And it was Thanos' fault. She's blaming the world, and she's grief and what could have been. And she was a little broken before. And yeah, it could have worked if the story was told better. Scarlet Witch has always been a little crazy in the comic books. But they've also retconned her 10 times. So this is not the Scarlet Witch from the comic books. So all of this was over two imaginary children, by the way. It had Evil White Man. It had Monica Rambeau, who was just very capable, who walked through a force field and became one of the most powerful superheroes in the MCU. And when she's walking through a force field, people are telling her, you're the best. You're the bestest of the bestest. You keep being the bestest of the bestest. And then when she walked through, she was the bestest of the bestest. Just like that. Wow. Wow. And then we got Miss Marvel, who's going to find some bracelets that aren't Captain Marvel's. That maybe they're meant to look like it, but they're not. Mega bands. And she is going to be omnipotent. And like, yeah, Miss Marvel and whatever they call Monica Rambeau. And Captain Marvel will kick Galactus in the balls and chew him out. And then Galactus's mom will come out and grab him by the ear, and that's where the movie will end. MCU. MCU. That's what it is. I'm not making this shit up. They said they were going to do it. They did it. And that's their only plan. That was Marvel's only plan. All the other hero stuff and getting the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in, it's not, they aren't even fucking thinking about it right now. They're not. They do one movie at a time and they see what sticks. We'll see. We'll see if Shang-Chi has a prominent role. There's a lot of lip service out there, but the movie didn't do that well. I know people were willing to die on the hill defending it, but it didn't do that well. And then the star refuses to sign Master of Kung Fu comics because they're racist. And my response is, don't let that fucking idiot sign your comic books because it would ruin a beautiful piece of art with some simpleton signature on it. Oh, okay. Let's get to some of your questions there, and then we'll go take a look at the Rings of Power. I could go on the MCU. There is the, the visual evidence is all there, where you have the male hero's show or movie, and he's standing behind the female hero. Doctor Strange is the latest. Loki had a poster where Loki stood behind She-Loki, female Loki. Thor is behind female Thor in one image. Hawkeye is standing behind Kate Bishop. She is in the protective position for fucking Hawkeye, which is my favorite, to be honest with you. And then we have Wasp and Ant-Man, where she is clearly the centerpiece of the fucking poster in an Ant-Man movie. And listen, I like the Wasp in the comic books more than I liked Ant-Man until the irredeemable Ant-Man came out, which was pretty good by Robert Kirkman. But yeah, I was more of a Yellow Jacket guy, to be honest with you. But that's when he smacked her around a little bit, you know. Yeah. They're not the same though. They forget the comic books. They don't care about comic book continuity. If they did, they just, I don't know, they probably would have ended everything at Endgame and rebooted everything and started with the Fantastic Four like they should have in the first place. And the Fantastic Four, it ain't going to be four white people, folks. It just ain't. It's not going to look like Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. So don't get your hopes up. It's going to look like, I don't know. There's a couple of good movies coming out, or there's one that's out, apparently. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to try to see it this week because there's a bunch of weird movie times for it. So Chris Gore has been really pushing the RRR. That's right, RRR. So I'm going to go see that. It's playing at like one time a day, and it's random. It's one day it's 12 noon. The other day it's 11:35. The other day it's 9:10 at night. So, and then The Northman's coming out. That looks fucking badass. That just looks badass. Man of War 665, the neighbor of the beast on the donation side, says, remember, fruit slices along with PB&J nuggies, string cheese, and candy corn belong on the kids' table. They do not, however, belong on Italian pie. Wait a minute. I'm just gonna prove you wrong right now. Thanks for the super chat. I mean, I hate for you to spend that money to be wrong. Man of War. Where's the picture of my pizza pie? Here we go. That I had just a couple of days ago. There it is right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That is beautiful pizza. Look at this. See all that pineapple on it and the hot sauce and the jalapenos? I got some pictures of my office there. This is a good one. If you can tell what it is. It's my dog. There was a huge thunderstorm last night, and my big, brave dog was under the bed. That's her butt sticking out. That's where she was. Big guard dog. Big, tough one she is. Hang on. I'm getting my reminders about my okay. Got to keep an eye on the time. Yeah. Okay, we're good. All right. But thank you, Man of War 665. You're entitled to your very wrong opinion. It's like I'm candy corn is fine. I'm not married to it. Fruit slices on pizza. belong there as long as they, they're complemented with jalapenos and some hot sauce. Absolutely. Michael Mersch for $5 says, now circumventing Mama Susan. Yes, thank you. Must say hello from Germany. Hello, Germany. Hope all is well there. Hope you're off those coof restrictions like most of the world is getting off of now. Fauci's losing his relevance, and he's very upset about it. Rhea for $3 said, and thank you, by the way. It was great hearing you and Ryan and QBG discussing Harry Potter last Friday Night Nights. I really liked the Half-Blood Prince, but I felt the movie fell short. The movie was terrible. They barely included any of the memory scenes from the pensive, of Voldemort. Which book and the movie are my favorites. Well, I know all the book fans hate the third movie. I love it. I think Alphonse Cuarón did a great job directing it, and the music was good. And I read the book. The book's better. My favorite book. Order of the Phoenix. I know it's not everybody's favorite. But that's my favorite. Order of the Phoenix. It's the longest, too. Half-Blood Prince is a great book. They fucked up that movie so much, though. God, it was really dark. And, yeah. But they kind of fucked up the last two as well. So. But, hey, thank you, Rhea. All right. And then, hang on. I got to get to, I'm going to see if I can get those. I saw some red. Oh, it's already passed up. Dang it. All right. I'll do it this way. I'll get to you guys in just a second. Why is my phone going? Oh, yeah, it's the chat. Just. Let me get down to the bottom here. Here we go. Ryan, for 20 euros, what are the chances Kathleen Kennedy gets through to the Ron Howard firewall and ruins the new Willow reboot? We've got our first transgender actor in Willow. It will be ruined. I'm not the biggest Willow fan, okay? And the reason I'm not the biggest Willow fan is it came out... I wasn't a kid. I was like a teenager. I was 15, something like that. And I was like looking for a different movie at the time. I was looking for like a badass Val Kilmer movie, and I got like a puppet show. I thought it was fine, but it was never like really my favorite movie. I know a lot of people love it, just like a lot of people love Goonies, and that's good for you. I promise you, Kathleen Kennedy will fuck this up. And if it doesn't get fucked up, then that's a miracle. I would call it a miracle. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry for the Willow fans out there. I know there's a ton of them. So, Das Boot for £2 proper money. Hail, Gary, did you get my Retardo Kaplan Kelpian stickers? Yes, I did. We've got them. They should be. What we do is we post all the stuff from the P.O. Box, the Toxic Mailbag, on Instagram. So you need to follow me on Instagram. But we did. I'm not going to put them on gas station pumps, though. Thank you very much. He put, the retarded Kelpian from Star Trek Discovery Season 3. He did kind of like a Biden-esque sticker for me. It's fucking great, by the way. Thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm going to put it somewhere in the office. It's going to go on the walls of wonder, for sure. For sure. We're dedicating a section for gifts, right? Sent by you maniacs. But thank you, Das Boot. Sir Yubasan says, critics gave Sonic 2 an awful rating, so I saw it and loved it. Yo, critics, you hear me? Look at me. I'm defying you candy asses because I can. Yes, you can, Sir Ubasan. And of course they're going to hate it. You want to know why? Because the director wanted to please the fans. Critics want to be the ones making decisions. The critics are feeling a little less relevant every day. I know there's 1,000 of them, but like, who listens to them anymore? I will go to some random guy or girl for a Sonic movie. I'm not going to go to, there is no Roger Ebert anymore, or Gene Siskel, who was way more of a hard ass than Roger. May they both rest in peace. Blue-Eyed Scorpio for $9.99 says, "Hey, favorite Gary." Why, thank you. I just wanted to touch on the show that not many people are talking about, but I have heard you mention. Show is Banshee, which checks all inclusive boxes and was executed great because of story. Yes, Banshee is a fucking brilliant show, but it was also made before the dark times. So it was part of that natural progression that we were in that was completely derailed by politics, ESG scores, CRT, all the other stuffs, the Bechdel test, to where, again, the comic, the woman who created that said, it's a fucking joke. It's not a guideline. It was like something she pointed out to be glib, to be funny, but it was never meant to be followed strictly as a rule, which it is. Because most people in Hollywood are fucking dumb as a bag of hammers. Hey, just want to say thanks for the content. Keep up the good fight. We will win in the end. God bless. Josh Gaines, thank you for the $10. I appreciate that. Yes, we will win. We're going to lose some things on the journey to victory. Things that we loved. I think some are broken beyond repair, but it doesn't mean we stop fighting. Michael B., a.k.a. Shogun Gaming, thank you for the 14 Danish krona. I appreciate it. Nothing to say, but thank you. Devin Roberts Triantis, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. Just a mo. Max Power for $20 said, did this super chat go through? Yes. Is Google letting me give you money yet? Yes. Is there a problem? There has been lately. Sorry. But thank you, Max. I appreciate it. Maybe next time test with like $1 or something. Or wait for somebody else. I don't know. But thanks, Max. David Park for a pound 79 says, is anyone else thinking about X-Ray Gary? I hope not. I really hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I don't judge here. I mean, Jeremy admitted to having the weirdest fap of his life when X-Ray Girl had like the beard on for Halloween. But, you know, like I said, we don't judge here. We're inclusive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought N. Sabanur, a.k.a. Apocalypse, was the first mutant. I'm going to be disappointed if Marvel changed canon. Well, Namor was the first mutant for the longest time. They change canon all the time. Now Jesus is the first mutant. I don't care. For me, Marvel Comics ended with Secret Wars, and honestly, it ended the day Disney bought it. And we were worried about that. I was in my comic shop going, yeah, we might get some good movies, but the comics will suffer, and that's exactly what happened. And honestly, I would prefer to have good comics over good movies. I just would. Culture Casino for $5. What's up, Culture? Gary, you promised not to bring your California waste to Texas. You are bringing in your California pizza weirdness there. So disappointed. Dude, they had it here. I didn't bring it. They had it. So I ordered it. It's all right. I'm not going to vote for fucking Beto. Okay, I just had some pineapple and some pizza. I could go out and buy some fucking soy milk and ride around in a fucking unicycle and open up a socialist bookstore. I'm just going to fucking eat some pineapple on pizza, okay? Jesus Christ. And his name isn't Beto, it's fucking Francis. Call him Francis. That guy is as Latino as I am. Enjoy your Polynesian open sandwich. I will shark bait radio pictures. I did. I enjoyed it. It was so good. I will eat another. They got some work to do, though. They got some work to do. There's some good food out here, though. I ain't complaining. Parking's free. There's free parking everywhere. I know most of America's like, what? But people in London and New York understand what I'm saying. Free parking everywhere. No state tax. And after doing my last California taxes, I am grateful for that. But it's also a Republican hellhole. So if you want to come here and get your abortions, they're completely illegal. They go to church every single day, and they're all packing heat. Oh, and they put criminals in jail. And the worst of it, I don't know why Texas just doesn't advertise it. It should be on the border. Like, welcome to Texas. Weed is illegal here. California fucking flip a bitch, which is a California term for making a U-turn, would flip a bitch immediately. It's an old California term when California was California, not whatever the fuck it is now. DJ Wiedemann. Sorry, dude. DJ Wiedemann for $5 says, today is John Milius's birthday. Oh, happy birthday. May he rest in peace. Conan, Apocalypse Now, Red Dawn, Big Wednesday, Wind and the Lion, Dillinger, and many more. HBO, HBD to the real legend. Yeah, dude was behind a lot of stuff, too, that he didn't get credited for and making it great, like Jaws, working, making suggestions to George Lucas. Yeah, dude was a fucking legend, and Conan is one of the greatest movies ever made. Bobby Brimstone for $50. Thank you very much. Because I know that you enjoy Spawn comics. I did. Have you tried King Spawn, Gunslinger, or The Scorched? They're actually pretty decent. Please check them out. If you haven't, keep it on. I have not checked out Gunslinger or The Scorched yet, but I did check out King Spawn, and I liked it. I did. It just felt like a normal comic book. Art was fucking solid. Art was solid. So, yeah, I thought it was good. Good. If Spawn is the one thing that survives all this, that's weird. But Spawn has been, Spawn is the most consistent selling image comic ever. I mean, Walking Dead outsold it forever. But Spawn just lingers. Thank you, Bobby Brimstone, for the recommendations. I will check it out. And I won't be giving money to Marvel. I hate Image too, though. Image is a fucking woke-ass company too, but I like Toddy M. Toddy M's a legend. One of the few actual legends to come out of the 90s. There's a lot of legends that came out of the 90s that think they're legends, and they're not. But then there's some actual legends. But it was like the rock star era of comic book artists, right? You had Wizard Magazine and the top 10 artists. It was fun. It was fun. Fucking, I love Wizard Magazine. I miss Wizard Magazine. God, it was so, oh my God, I couldn't wait to get my new Wizard Magazine, see who the top artist was. And it was always like Jim Lee. Fucking Jim Lee. And I always thought Jim Lee is a little overrated, to be honest with you. I've got a couple of action figures, right, that show you like how disproportionate his shit was. Like his feet. People get on J. Scott Campbell about his feet. Look at Jim Lee's feet. Now, people like Jim. It seems like a nice guy. I guess he's gone at Disney. DC. What's the difference? I was a Mark Silvestri guy. I thought that guy just was clean. And I like Michael Turner, too. True hot women. Hail Gary, have you seen the Sauron life-size bust on Sideshow? Yes, I have. And did you find your box of Hot Toys yet? I did. So you see right here, that's a 1 1/4 scale Sauron. Sorry, it's yeah. this fancy camera, you can't see. I can maybe focus it. There we go. You see it? There it is. Little rack focus there. Look at, you want to see me rack focus? Hang on. Ooh, yeah, I know how to rack focus on a live stream. But there's Sauron. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, the life-size head bust. Those are big, dude. Those are big. But yeah, I'm gonna get it. And it's gonna go right next to my Darkness life-size head bust that I haven't brought out in forever. Make sure I'm in focus. I did get this. I went to a local comic store. Got it at a very good price. Spidey's in the house. See, Superman wouldn't fit. So I just walked up to the guy at the shop and said, "Is this thing for sale?" And it had a couple of broken things on it that I've already fixed. And they said, "Yep, gave me a good price." Took that bitch home. Yeah, it's Tom Holland. I used to have a Tobey Maguire one, wish I still did, from Sharper Image, but that got sold with the shop. But that'll do. I do like the costume. I like the Romita. You know, the black bands could go, but the Romita style costume is fucking dope. It is. All right. Let's talk about Rings of Power. Rings of Power. And again, I don't know if the Johnny Depp or Amber Heard trial has started yet. I know a lot of people are going to be interested in that. I don't mean to, like, I talked about it earlier. I don't mean to, like, I don't want to sound like I'm shaming anybody for being into it. Like, fucking be into it. It's fascinating. And how often do you get to see something on YouTube that gets into, like, movie star? Yeah. It's just like the recovering addict in me, like, really sympathizes with Johnny. All right. Johnny probably did some fucking horrible things when he was high on drugs. He's been on drugs, like, almost his entire life. And hopefully he gets sober. And I'm pretty sure Amber, I don't know if she's on drugs. I think she's just naturally crazy. I think she's naturally crazy and manipulative and unlikable. And I think when this is all over, both their careers are fucked. They're going to be poisoned in Hollywood, which is too bad because Johnny Depp is actually talented. Like, he said some stupid shit, you know, but like he's got talent, right? But I hope she gets her comeuppance, because especially the California court system. This isn't in California, but like the court system is so skewed towards women now, right? Yes, there are abusive men. There are some fucking horrible, horrible abusive men. That's why the courts got skewed. But instead of being the court, being what they should be, there's just, you know, it goes. One of the biggest problems in our court system now, it's heavily politicized and it's filled with bias, which it should not be. I know I'm being idealistic and dumb. Justice should be blind. But I hope she gets her comeuppance. I do. Enoch Maman for $100. You're crazy. After Friday, Enoch Maman. Oh, that's part 2. Shit, hang on. Let me get to part 1. That's part 1. I hate to sound like a hipster. It's okay. I get accused of that shit all the time. You know how much I had to fight the hipster thing because of my beard, Enoch Maman? I'm like, no, I'm like just a masculine dude. No, and I want to break up the monotony in my face. I'm not like, and yeah, I like avocado. I do. But I don't listen to the Silver Sun pickups or some fucking, you know, Light in the Loafers shit. Like, I listen to like really evil music all the time and enjoy it. But I've never trusted critics. This is because of Siskel and Ebert. Ebert gave Die Hard 2.0. I'll tell you one more. And 1/2 of 4 stars for The Usual Suspects because of the twist. Yeah, Siskel gave 2 out of 4 stars to The Outlaw Josie Wales and The Unforgiven. Oh my God. And like The Outlaw Josie Wales is one of the greatest fucking movies of all time. It's in my top 10. It's my all-time favorite Western. Has my favorite line, endeavor to persevere. Fucking buzzards gotta eat. Fucking good shit. Yeah, and they also didn't like fucking Blade Runner. They didn't like Blade Runner. Don't forget that. But most people didn't. Blade Runner is like Woodstock. Everybody says they saw it, but I've got witnesses. I can bring my mom, who can tell you that she sat through that movie with me and my 12-year-old friend, Doug Johnson, who might be even in the chat. and we saw that film. And I thought the theatrical version is my favorite. It is. Part 2. Ebert also wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, one of the worst movies ever made. Yep, that's a critic. Like, hey, I'll admit, I'm not going to be writing any scripts, although I could probably write a better script than Kurtzman. But that's not saying much. Like, there are critics out there, like The Critical Drinker and Mahler. They could write a movie. They could write it. Well, one of them writes books that are really good, by the way. Those are unforgivable sins. Critics in general have always had a 10% success rate and never understood what the people or the plebs, as they call us, want to care or learn. Thank you again for the extra $100. Time of the critic. I'm going to sound like Sauron. The time of the critic is over. The time of the troll begins. That's what they call us. No, we're actually fans. We're fans who've read. Hey, some of us do create shit. Some of us create books, comic books, alternative entertainment media. That's what I'm doing. So yeah, some of us do create shit. Creatively, I would say you're right. Critics should have never been listened to. But, I mean, it was always kind of fun, like the two old guys on the Muppets, you know. They're fucking funny, you know. Some of them were funny. Like, Rex Reed was like a sassy gay guy who just ripped the shit out of movies in a sassy gay guy way, which was fucking hilarious. Like, he was entertaining. At the Movies, you want to know why At the Movies with Siskel and Ebert was popular? Do you know why they even got popular? Because back in the day, when we were Star Wars fans and Raiders of the Lost Ark fans and Jaws fans, we would watch anything that would show 2 seconds of our movie because we couldn't see the movie unless we went back to the theater. There was VHS, but it was really expensive at the time. So things like Entertainment Tonight would do an expose on George Lucas for 5 minutes, and like I would wait for an hour and a half before that came on to watch that 5 minutes. So the reason At the Movies got really fucking popular was they would show scenes from movies we liked that we couldn't see all the time. So quite frankly, Siskel and Ebert, it wasn't about them. It was about, you know, I think it evolved into that. But initially, they were on PBS. They were on fucking PBS. And we watched it. And the only reason we watched it is to disagree with the fucking old fucks and see a scene from our movie. Back in the old days when we had 3 television stations. Well, most people had 3, maybe 4 television stations. I was lucky. I had 9 because I lived in between San Diego and LA. When we used to get TV from a thing called an antenna, you know, be a signal, and you'd have this little dial, and if you wanted to like watch channel 13 in LA, you had to turn your dial, and then your TV antenna on your roof would go, and then your station would come in, and it'd be kind of fuzzy, and your dad would constantly be telling you to move away from the television. Yeah. Sneak previews. That's right. Sneak previews. I was a Siskel guy. He was a dick, but I thought he was funny. Ebert was just Ebert. I didn't hate him. Hi, Gary. Amazon has screwed with the wrong fandom. They have. By spitting on Tolkien's legacy, Rings of Power is being premiered on the day he died. Let's not forget that. September 2nd. So holy moly, for 20 Canadian pesos wants us to all remember, and I agree with you, that Amazon made a deliberate decision to premiere Rings of Power on the anniversary of J.R.R. Tolkien's death. Not his birthday, his death. The date of Tolkien's death, not a coincidence. It's going to be another woke, diverse disaster. It absolutely is. I alluded earlier as to, somebody brought up like they don't need to change anything. They're not panicking. Where did you hear that they were panicking? Somebody very close to the production has reached out to me. And others, by the way. I'm not the only one. It was not a very smooth production. Actors walked away very unhappy. It's expensive. They put a lot of money into it. But that rumor, there's a rumor put out there by the OneRing.net 2-3 years ago that the entire writing staff had been fired. That was close to being true. It wasn't the entire writing staff, though. A lot of people from the writing staff were given walking papers. And you're going to notice from that, remember that initial trailer? Like the very first teaser trailer, which was Opie and Opie with their fucking Hobbit slippers on, and the typewriter, and Tom Shippey was in it, and I believe John Howe was in it, who was just there to do a map, I believe. And we saw writers from a lot of bad reboot productions, and then a couple of like Breaking Bad writers, which people go, ooh, Breaking Bad writers. I'm like, can they write fantasy? Can a Breaking Bad writer write Tolkien? You heard Chuck Dixon in my last video. Chuck Dixon is a prolific, by the way, I made a verbal error in that video that I'd like to correct right now. I meant to say creator of Bane and long runs on Batman and stuff. I said long runs on Bane. There's been no long run of Bane. But he was the creator of Bane. But Chuck Dixon said it best when he adapted The Hobbit for Eclipse Comics. Well, you can get the graphic novel everywhere. It's been out forever. It's pretty cool. The art's good and the story's good. And what he did was it's just it's a shortened version of The Hobbit. He wanted to use Tolkien's words. We haven't heard that kind of language from the creator. We heard from the producer, who was a very good friend and associate of Jar Jar Abrams, who is now the producer. And she said it needed to reflect the world of today. That's the exact language we heard from Alex Kurtzman, another former and current associate of Jar Jar Abrams. We needed it to reflect. Damon Lindelof said the very same thing about the Watchmen series that was so popular that it never got renewed. They just said it was so great, they only did one. Where Dr. Manhattan comes back to literally give his balls to a woman, his testicles. Yeah, that's the theme of the fucking show. Wish it wasn't, but it was. And he goes from blue to blackface. Nobody thought that was weird, except for me. Yeah, it's in horrible hands. There is a Star Trek Discovery writer on staff. That's all you need to know. Game over. It's going to be a giant turd. And quite frankly, it is going to be here. Let's go back there. Let's go to the Rings of Power. Let's see. Rings of Power helps if I oh, stop it. I don't want to hear that shit. And we're going to go to there we go. Oh no. It's still at 3 million. Oh wait, did I just see some? Oh, look at Peter Jackson. I love you, man. Where are the comments, though? Oh, they're down here. Okay. Yeah, they deleted more comments. Oh, and they've really suppressed mine. 2 weeks ago, 2 likes. That's great. By the way, I'll just read what it says. The canons of narrative in any medium cannot be wholly different. And the failure of poor films is often precisely an exaggeration and in the intrusion of unwarranted matter owing to not perceiving where the core of the original lies. That is an actual quote from J.R.R. Tolkien, basically saying You brought in a lot of your own shit into my shit, and it makes it shit. Evil cannot create. It only corrupts and destroys. That's a paraphrase of Sam talking to Frodo. Or Frodo talking to Sam, sorry. About the orcs. Now, Melkor created the orcs and the goblins, possibly, through the torture and brainwashing of elves and Numenorians, men. They do multiply, they breed, so there has to be females, or that'd be weird. But that when Tolkien refers to orcs and goblins multiplying, like rabbits. Yeah. So they are deleting comments. So the comments were as high as 81,000 was the last time I saw. And this was before Disbrew first reported on it. So now we have, 31,000 comments have been deleted. That is a historic ratio if it's accurate. I promise you that number will be down soon. So, but that could be accurate. And if it is, then it makes you wonder how many other, especially if they remove it. If they remove more, then they're caught. And then we can ask legitimately, how many more films have you done this with? Captain Marvel, Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, Birds of Prey, Terminator Dark Fate, all had very favorable ratings on YouTube. Inexplicably, I can't say that word right now, but you know what I'm saying. Total flops at the box office, but had great critic and audience ratings and really high YouTube ratings. Shit, Doctor Who looks to be universally loved on YouTube. Star Trek Discovery. This is the first time we've seen this. And now it's like, holy shit. 10% of the people voted down. And these are people who can't see it. Yeah, I'm sure most people have the extension. By the way, there's a little added thing to the extension. That's really nice. When people, I just noticed this. I was watching Flashcast, and they were talking about Mars Girl. So, I've never seen a Mars Girl video. So I went to Mars Girl's video, fucking bitching about being harassed over the Vic thing. And she disabled the likes and dislikes, but I could still see her dislikes. I couldn't see her likes, but I could see her dislikes. So that's another added thing to the dislike extension that is not going away. So 3 million downvotes is a beautiful thing. And that is fandom. That is the voice of fandom. And I think that voice is stronger with Lord of the Rings because, for one, something Warner Brothers couldn't figure out, something Amazon couldn't figure out, that trilogy is beloved as much as any other movie ever made. People, it is, that trilogy is everyone's happy space. I think they underestimated how insanely popular Tolkien is and how insanely passionate people are about Tolkien. And when you listen to the arguments, it's about just being accurate to Tolkien. That's all. We're talking about one story. But as you'll see in my next video, what gets conflated with everything is like, hey, yeah, I think the Doctor is a male character, an established male character. Make a different female character and I'll support it. I'll absolutely support it. But the Doctor's a male character. The only reason you changed the Doctor from a male to a female was for political reasons. It was ideological reasons. It wasn't creative reasons. And I noticed that. Now, just because I think the Doctor is a male character should always be a male character doesn't mean I don't want I wouldn't vote for a woman president, or I think women should be bare feet in my fucking kitchen pregnant or anything. No, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm a modern guy. You got to have a JOB. You want to be with me. Got to get your ass out there and work like I do. So that conflation is finally dying down. Yes, the tide is turning. Is Lord of the Rings part of that tide turning? Yes, it is. Does it survive it? I don't think so. At least not in the near future. That looks like there's some moves being made by Amazon to get the whole damn thing. Why wouldn't you? You're a $1 trillion company. It will be a fucking disaster, beginning to end, like Star Trek. And books will be written about like how bad Star Trek was for a long time before somebody decided to pull the plug. But recently we saw Doctor Who make changes. They brought back RTD. If it's going to work, I don't know. That's up to you. I don't know. I have no idea. Warner Brothers, damn near everybody's gone except for Toby Emmerich. Disney will be the last one to change. They'll probably bring fucking Iger back or whatever. That'll be lame. But Rings of Power is where people held the line. And it's beautiful. And it's much bigger and louder than I ever thought it would be. And it's like it's a giant white pill moment. Now, it would be much better if this was just a good series. But we knew that wasn't going to be the case. There was too many signs. And now, radio silence. Absolute radio silence from Amazon. Amazon has deleted comments. Amazon has hidden videos. Amazon is not happy. They are not in a good space. This is not the actions of a company who is proud of their work at all. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. It's fucking phenomenal. Yeah, I love you guys. I love you guys. All right. They underestimate that infinite money won't make the fandom love shit garbage, says Heretic Hunter for $5. Yep, you can have all the money in the world. Chances are you're more likely to make garbage than something good. I think it stifles creativity a little bit. But this wasn't a creative decision. Making a show off appendices is utterly ridiculous. Tolkien he was a linguist. The entire story is his language. How people talk to each other. The voice of Frodo, the voice of Sam, the voice of Gandalf. It's all aspects of Tolkien's voice, something they do not have to adapt. Same's going to be, and like, not as bad, but it could be as bad as the House of the Dragon with George too. Same situation. Gary, people might find Dave Rubin interviewing David Marnett interesting. It's on topic on the culture and bigger picture. I will check it out. Thank you, Robert Turcott, for 20 Canadian pesos. I appreciate it. I will absolutely check that out. I like Dave Rubin. Nothing against him. Thank you again, Anak Baman, for the two $100 super chats. Thank you again, Bobby Brimstone. I really appreciate it. We'll get to some of the donations. I've got 5 minutes. Yeah, sorry, it's a short one today. Much longer one on Wednesday. And yes, finally, Chris Gore. Chris Gore is going to be on Wednesday and Friday. We also got a pretty big guest booked that I'm not going to say right now. I'll tease that for Friday Night Tights. Let's go down here. Oh my God, I wish I could tell you guys more on the Marvel stuff, and I will eventually. But it really is funny seeing people like shilling for stuff that the creators of the fucking actual shows wouldn't shill for. That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part. See Campy go, I love it. Just knowing that the person who worked on the show's going, no, it's actually shit. It makes me happy. My top 10. Number 1 is from Inakmamon for $10, by the way. Thank you on the donation side. Ben-Hur, great movie. The Searchers. Have I not seen The Searchers? I don't think I've seen The Searchers. I need to see The Searchers. Outlaw Josie Wales, number 3. Hell yeah. T2, number 4. Number 5, Dirty Harry. Number 6, Alien. Number 7, The Wild Bunch. Ooh, that's a good one. Number 8, Animal House. Number 9, Seven Samurai. Great one. Number 10, Predator. Ooh, that's a great top 10, dude. I haven't seen The Searchers. I need to see The Searchers. I've seen everything else, though. That's a solid top 10 in Aquaman. Thank you for the $10. WG for $20 is going to abuse me for liking pineapple on pizza once again. Gary, you above all of us know pineapple pizza is merely the gateway food to even worse table fare. Soon it won't be enough, and the next thing you know, you'll be eating kale on pancakes. That will never happen. Just know we're here for you, man. Fruit on pies, not on pizza. No! Just pineapple. I mean, I'm not going to put apple or orange. Ugh, I can't even eat oranges. Have I not told you the story why I can't eat oranges? I can't stand this. I can drink orange juice, but I cannot stand the smell of a peeled orange because it reminds me of prison. That's right. There's a certain cleaner that if I smell, it will remind me of prison, and a fresh, like they hand out oranges in prison. Like that's like the one thing that for your snack, they hand out a bunch of oranges, and I can't fucking stand them now because of that. I'll keep that in mind, WG. No, it's not going to lead to me. I don't like seafood. I don't eat fucking sushi or crab or any of that. And I definitely don't eat like quinoa and kale. All right. No. A little hummus, veggie wrap maybe, but those are good. Jester of Roanoke for $1.50. Thank you. Says, hey there, Gary. I have a stack of old Wizard magazines if you're interested. Also, what is the max you will pay for a fair condition issue of Batman and Poison Ivy's first appearance? Oh, Batman with Poison Ivy's first appearance. I have a chance to own one if I win a bid on a local auction. Ooh, Poison Ivy. Okay, make sure it's her first appearance, number 1. There's multiple first appearances in DC, and honestly, Poison Ivy, I would not know going off the top of my head, so I would have to, because I know like there's multiple Catwoman appearances, and you got to be careful on that one, because people could say like it's like with Warlock. There's about 4 comics out there that can say it's Warlock's first appearance, and it wouldn't be lying, but it's not technically true for 3 of them. That's for Marvel. For example, Raven Darkholm. Her first appearance is in Captain Marvel, but it's not as Mystique. So you're talking about Batman 181. The trouble between the dynamic duo. $465 was a sold one at what? That looks like a good, that looks like a good copy. They did not put a grade on here. Fair. It's a fair copy. Fair to good. So yeah, it looks like if it's a fair to good copy, it will go for anywhere between $400 to $500. I would say that's a little high. I would definitely, like, at $400, I'd grab it. At like $600, $700, no, wait. If it's a super low grade, like fair to good. Anywhere above that, it's going to jump up orders of magnitude. Okay, like it'll jump up to 1,000, 1,500 to the next grade up. It's kind of like earthquakes. She looks sassy, and that's probably when she was straight. I have this comic book. Ooh, yeah, 9.0 going for $10,000. Going for $10,000. I'd pick up when you pick up key copies and you're just starting out, do what I did. Just start with the lower grade and then trade up as time goes on. So get just make sure the comic's together. It's not restored, and get yourself a good copy of a Marvel key or a DC key, and then trade up. That's what I did. That's what I got. I started out, I got an Amazing Spider-Man #1 in 1996 for $900. That was my entire, that was more than my entire paycheck. I had to explain that to a first wife who was not happy. I still have that comic to this very day, by the way. That comic book goes for $10,000 now? $12,000? Something like that. Bought it for $900 off the wall at a comic shop in San Diego. Saved up. It's every fucking penny I had. Yeah, she wasn't happy. That's why she was my first wife. Just saying. Just saying. Listen, she's a nice person. It wasn't good fit. Wasn't a good fit. 20 years ago, I was this Marxist shit, injecting our culture, education, and storytelling. Those I warned typically told me to stop being political. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to rewind that a little bit. Sorry, Daniel. 20 years ago, I saw this Marxist shit infecting our culture, education, and storytelling. Those I warned typically told me to stop being political. Like a guy with binoculars on the Titanic being told to stop talking about the icebergs. You are Paul Revere. Hail Daniel for $50 on the donation side. Love you, brother. Long-time listener. Long-time friend of the channel. Thank you. Yes. This has been happening for years, and it's great. It's great that, Tim Pool told me he was going to be doing that little pop culture podcast he's doing, and the guy, I'm forgetting his name, the guy hosting it is actually the guy I talk to the most at the house. Like, he and I had the longest conversations. Nice guy. Super nice guy. It's great that people are talking about it. And people are doing new and different things. And Daily Wire is making movies that look pretty legit and have a star out there like Gina Carano. And, Gina Carano is now going to cons and not getting canceled. Knock on wood. So, yeah, the tide is turning. The tide is turning. Okay, I'm going to get the rest of these. I'll read the rest of these on Wednesday. I got a square up partially recorded that I got to finish. But as far as these are concerned, being the super chats and leftover donations, they will be read Wednesday for a longer show. But I do have to run because I'm going to appear on Drew Hernandez in less than an hour. So 3 p.m. Pacific time. Check out Drew Hernandez Frontline. I'm going to be on it. I'm going to be getting prepared, getting some noogies. Be back Wednesday at 12. Of course, tomorrow on Heel versus Babyface's channel, 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm back on Pacific time. 12 p.m. Central time. That's daylight time. And I think it's 6 or 7 in the UK. We got the real BBC, so I'll be over there with Nina, Mahler, and Az, who just got to 300,000 subs. Had his 10-year anniversary, so give him some love. And yeah, sorry, I got a book out now, but I got a book out now. Love you guys. This will be archived on Nerdrotic Live in an hour or two. And again, look for me on Drew Hernandez in about an hour. All right, y'all take care. Ciao, Bella.
Nerdrotic.com. Nerdrotic.com.
Hot mic, hang on. I got to turn this down a little bit. A little bit. We got a birthday. Vicky for $5 says, can you say happy birthday to my son, Damien? 14 today and currently listening. Thanks. Here, I'll get on camera in a second. No, I don't have to reset. Damien, I'll wish you a happy birthday on nooner on Wednesday. But happy birthday, Damien, and thanks for watching. Appreciate you, and thank you, Vicky, for the $5. And thanks, Eric, for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate it.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Damn it.